vidi una fotografia, mi dissi perché un giorno non potrei anch'io essere un pilota d'automobile, e tutti gli atti sono stati una conseguenza di questo sogno.
Welcome to Brand Vanguard, where we unveil the untold stories behind the world's greatest empires and the visionary minds that built them. Today, we're diving into one of the most legendary brands in automotive history, Ferrari. Ferrari is a name that immediately conjures images of sleek red sports cars, roaring engines, and the glamour of Formula One. But behind this symbol of prestige and speed lies the story of a man who came from humble beginnings and pursued his dream relentlessly until he built one of the world's most recognizable empires. Enzo Ferrari didn't set out to become a luxury car maker. His dream was simply yet powerful. He wanted to race. And it was his passion for motorsport that laid the foundation for what would become the Ferrari empire. Today, we'll explore how one man's love for racing and sheer determination transformed Ferrari into the iconic brand it is today. Let's get started. A modest start in Modena. Enzo Anselmo Ferrari was born on February 20, 1898, in the industrial town of Modena, Italy. His family lived a modest life. His father, Alfredo, worked as a metal fabricator, and Enzo had an early exposure to machinery. However, his childhood wasn't easy. When Enzo was just 20 years old, he faced a heartbreaking tragedy. Both his father and older brother succumbed to illness during the 1916 influenza outbreak. With the loss of his family's main breadwinners, Enzo was forced to leave school and find work to support himself. He enlisted in the Italian army during World War I, but his military career was cut short due to illness. After returning home, Enzo struggled to find steady work. Little did he know that his difficult beginnings would instill in him a perseverance that would define his entire career. But everything changed when he attended his first car race. The racing dream takes hold. In 1908, at the age of 10, Enzo saw his first car race at the Circuito di Bologna, and that moment ignited a lifelong passion for motorsport. Even though he had no means to enter the racing world, Enzo knew that he wanted to be a part of it. The exhilaration of speed, the roar of the engines, and the competition on the track fascinated him. But dreams without action remain dreams, and for Enzo, it was clear that he would have to fight his way into this world. In 1919, he got his first break, not as a driver, but as a test driver for the CMN Costruzioni Meccaniche Nazionali car manufacturer. It wasn't glamorous, but it was a foot in the door. Soon after, he began participating in minor racing events. While Enzo Ferrari's racing career never reached stardom, it was his experience behind the wheel that taught him the mechanics of cars, the importance of design, and what it took to build a winning machine. Founding Scuderia Ferrari by 1929, Enzo Ferrari realized that his true talent lay not in driving, but in organizing and leading a racing team. That same year, he founded Scuderia Ferrari, initially as the racing division for Alfa Romeo, one of Italy's top car manufacturers. His team didn't build cars, but instead bought them from Alfa Romeo and modified them for racing. Scuderia Ferrari quickly became known for its disciplined approach to racing and the engineering precision that Enzo demanded from his team. Ferrari's ability to spot talent also played a crucial role in the team's early success. Some of the best drivers of the time, such as Tazio Nuvolari, drove for Scuderia Ferrari. During these years, Enzo also started forming critical relationships with engineers and designers, learning from them and experimenting with technology. This was the birth of Enzo's obsession with creating faster, better cars, war and a new beginning. Despite the success of Scuderia Ferrari in the 1930s, the outbreak of World War II forced Enzo to pause his ambitions. In 1939, Enzo left Alfa Romeo, but not without restrictions. A clause in his contract prevented him from building cars under his own name for 4 years. To comply, Enzo started a company called Auto Avio Costruzioni, which focused on supplying parts for airplanes and manufacturing equipment during the war. However, even amidst the turmoil of war, Enzo never gave up on his dream. In secret, he continued developing his own cars. By the end of the war, Italy was in ruins, but in the small town of Maranello, something extraordinary was about to happen. In 1947, Enzo Ferrari unveiled his first car, the Ferrari 125, as a car that would go on to define the Ferrari brand, the birth of Ferrari 125 Seconds. The Ferrari 125 Seconds was the first car to bear the Ferrari name and the iconic prancing horse emblem. It wasn't just a car, it was a statement of everything Enzo had learned over the years about speed, power, and precision. The 125 South featured a 1.5-litre V12 engine, a design that became the hallmark of Ferrari's racing cars. While the car's early performances were promising, Enzo faced financial difficulties. Italy was still recovering from the devastation of war, and building high-performance race cars wasn't an easy feat. But Enzo wasn't one to shy away from a challenge. He poured all his resources and energy into developing the Ferrari 125 Seconds and entered it into local races, hoping to prove that Ferrari cars could win on the track. The first victory in May 1947, the Ferrari 125 Seconds made its racing debut in the Piacenza circuit, but it didn't finish the race. However, just 2 weeks later, the car secured its first victory in the Rome Grand Prix, with Franco Cortese behind the wheel. This victory marked a turning point for Enzo and his young company. Winning on the track meant everything to Enzo Ferrari. It wasn't just about the prize, it was about proving to the world that Ferrari could build the fastest, most innovative cars in the world. As Ferrari continued to rack up victories in local and international races, the company began to attract the attention of wealthy car enthusiasts, triumph in Formula One. In 1950, Formula One was born, and Enzo saw this as the ultimate proving ground for his cars. Ferrari entered the inaugural season, and by 1951, Ferrari had claimed its first Formula One victory, beating the dominant Alfa Romeo team. This victory wasn't just a win on the track, it symbolized Ferrari's emergence as a global powerhouse in motorsport. The 1950s were a golden era for Ferrari in Formula One. With legendary drivers like Juan Manuel Fangio and Alberto Ascari behind the wheel, Ferrari established itself as the team to beat. Ferrari becomes a status symbol. While Ferrari's racing victory cemented its reputation on the track, the company's road cars began to gain international acclaim. In the 1950s and 1960 Seconds, owning a Ferrari became a symbol of status, wealth, and power. Celebrities like Steve McQueen and wealthy industrialists flocked to buy Ferrari's sleek road cars. Ferrari's iconic models, such as the 250 GTO and the Ferrari Daytona, weren't just fast, they were beautiful. Enzo's philosophy of blending art and engineering set Ferrari apart from other carmakers. The loss of Enzo Ferrari. Enzo Ferrari passed away in 1988 at the age of 90, leaving behind an indelible mark on the world of motorsport and automotive design. Even in his final years, Enzo remained deeply involved in the day-to-day operations of his company. He famously said, "The engine is the heart of a car, but the driver is its soul." Ferrari's commitment to excellence continued to thrive even after his death. The 1987 Ferrari F40, the last car produced under Enzo's watch, became a legend in its own right, symbolizing Ferrari's relentless pursuit of speed and innovation. Ferrari today. Today, Ferrari is much more than just a car brand. It's a global icon that represents speed, luxury, and engineering excellence. The company continues to dominate Formula One, while its road cars are some of the most sought-after vehicles in the world. Ferrari's legacy, rooted in Enzo's unshakable passion for motorsport, lives on. And while the cars themselves have evolved, the spirit of Ferrari remains unchanged, bold, uncompromising, and driven by a deep love for the art of racing. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the extraordinary story of Ferrari and its visionary founder, Enzo Ferrari. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the untold story of how one man's passion for racing built an empire, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. At Brand Vanguard, we bring you the stories of the world's greatest innovators and their incredible journeys to success. Stay tuned for more insights into the minds and stories behind the world's most powerful empires.